When we do things like songs that are a little, what we call sexy. You can see from the title, it's more of a love album.
All right, welcome to another week of Manversations 2020. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We have another dope and superb show for you guys this week. So much going on, man. It is a lot going on, especially in this month. But we definitely want to take the time out to dedicate towards our wonderful ancestors. So every week we give you guys new information on our Black entrepreneurs, wonderful elders that have done phenomenal works into generating things that have made us very easy to live and also our everyday means make it very easy for us to function with their inventions. So that is something that is super dope and super cool for us. Looking back at how we have so many people that look like us that are so innovative. They have created so much things that, is just phenomenal. For people to go out here and say that Black folks don't contribute to anything to society, which is a lie. Everything that you need to know, you can go and research it yourself. And a lot of times we find information that a lot of people don't know about, because during Black History Month, they always want to tell you the same consecutive things over and over and over. But here on Manversations this year, we thought we would do something quite different, which is try to highlight people that a lot of y'all pretty much didn't know anything about, right? So we definitely want to start off this week with on February 12th, right? Because we left off on the 11th last week. So February 12th, we have Augustus Nathaniel Lushington, and he is became the first African American to earn Doctor of Veterinary Medicine from the University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine in 1897. He practiced about 2 years in Philadelphia and worked as an instructor in veterinary sanitation and hygiene at Belle Meade Industrial and Agricultural College at Rocks Castle, West Virginia. He later practiced of much of his career life in a very segregated Lynchburg, Virginia, where he experienced unfair treatment. But he finally earned a reputation as a superior practitioner in the community. He had a membership in the Statistical Reporter in the Bureau of Animal Industry, Federal Department of Agriculture, and the Lynchburg Chamber of Commerce. So shout out to Augustus Nathaniel Lushington for his phenomenal work. I know we have a lot of kids that want to be veterinarians. They love animals. So definitely, teach them this history. We are in this field. We don't really see much of us in the field. And that's because we don't expose them to that and make it seem familiar that people like us are in those fields. So definitely somebody you guys can add to your Black History Month. And if you have children, to introduce them to your children and let them know outside of sports, there's a wonderful creators and elders that done exactly what they're aimed to do. All right, so the next up is February 13th. We have the Harlem Renaissance, the New York Rens. I know back in the days, you guys heard about the Harlem Renaissance and the great things that occurred out of the Harlem Renaissance. And one of them was the Superior basketball team, right? So the Renaissance program before you today was inspired by the historical team of the same name during the Harlem Renaissance. It was during then that the African American culture was reborn and flourished from the 1920s to the early 30s, primarily in New York City. This was a heightened focus centered around African Americans and their endeavors such as poetry, arts, music, sports, and more. The movement echoed Afrocentric expressions throughout the urban areas in Northeast and Midwest, even extended as far as Paris, France. The original New York Renaissance, the Rens, was the first fully all-Black professional African-American owned basketball team, founded in Harlem in 1923. Its founder was a man named Robert B. L. Douglas, and he started the team on February 13th of 1923. The team didn't play the first game until November 3rd of the same year. The New York Rens' immediate success and notoriety helped shift the presence of the African American sports from the amateur level to the professional level. They were able to compete with even and defeated the original Boston Celtics, who were the dominant professional white teams during that era. The Rens won 88 consecutive games in 1932 and 1933 season, which had never been matched or surpassed by a professional basketball team since then. In 1939, they won the first professional basketball championship in the World Professional Basketball Tournament. This will be a tremendous accomplishment because of years went on. The majority of the teams to win the tournament usually came out of the National Basketball League, which eventually became the NBA many, many years later. So shout out to the Harlem Renaissance, the New York Rens, for their phenomenal success and paving the Black culture and Black excellence for us throughout the years.
Wow.
All right. So February 14th, we have Carol Bryce. And Carol Bryce is a woman who is a singer. She was born in North Carolina. If you guys don't know, there's a lot of deep, talented people when it comes to music that's coming out of North Carolina. That has come out of North Carolina. So out of North Carolina on April 16, 1918, into a musical family. Eventually, she became one of the first African-American classical singers and extensive recording repertoire. So Bryce trained at Palmer Memorial Institute in Talladega College in Alabama, where she received her bachelor's of music degree in 1939. She later attended Juilliard School of Music between 1939 to 1943, where she trained with Francis Rogers. And in 1943, Bryce became the first African-American musician to win the prestigious Walter W. Namberg Foundation Award. So shout out to Carol Bryce and any young girl out there to let them know they can open up their palette of musical range, from whether you want to do from R&B, do you want to do neo soul, you know, you could do musicals, you can also do opera. Remember last week, I think it was, we highlighted one of our great elders doing opera and all the amazing things she did in that field and the doors that opened for her during segregation because she had a phenomenal voice. So, you know, just letting our young girls know out there, sky's the limit. There is no specific area or path to go in. Whatever the range your vocals will take you, you are dominant in that area to succeed in it. So join whatever path you want to go. But we just want to let you know that there are Black people that have done the musical field as well. So don't be shy and feel like you're the pioneer in that area. Also pave the way and make it better for the next generation after you. All right, so shout out to Carol Bryce. Next, we have Robert Morris Sr. And Robert Morris Sr. has become one of the first Black lawyers in the United States. And after being admitted to Massachusetts bar in 1847, Morris was born in Salem, Massachusetts in June 8, 1823. At an early age, Morris had some formal education and master's Dodge School in Salem. With the agreement of his family, he became the student of Ellis Gray Lorig, a well-known abolitionist and lawyer. Shortly after starting his practice in Boston, Morris became the first Black lawyer to file a lawsuit on behalf of a client in the history of the nation. A jury ruled in favor of Morris' client. Through the details of the trial are unknown. Morris, however, recorded his feelings and observation about his first jury trial. There was something in the courtroom that made me feel like a giant. The courtroom was filled with colored people, and I could see expressed on their faces of every one of them a wish that I might win the first case that had ever been tried before a jury by a colored attorney in this country. So shout out to Robert Morris for breaking through and giving us Black professionals a chance to look at how we can get into the law field as well. And we have so many Black lawyers out here doing so much phenomenal work. I also have a Black lawyer that end up doing his own practice. He's on my page. I would love to definitely bring him on here. He does injury law, but man, he is bringing millions of dollars to these families that have deaths deaths occurred because of negligence through companies. So he's phenomenal at what he does. I call him the new version of what's his name?
Johnny Cochran.
Johnny Cochran, right? So
okay.
I call him that in the injury field because he's really dope at what he do. So shout out to him and shout out to all the Black lawyers out there doing so much great work. All right. Mm-hmm. Next up is one of our favorites. This, I think everybody should know who this is. So LeVar Burton, right? He was
Brother
the first
Burton.
Black.
Brother
He's
Burton.
kind of a big deal. He's kind of a big deal.
So he's the first Black man to actually have Black people actually reading, right? On a national level.
Right.
So his name is LeVar Dis, Robert Martin Burton Jr. He was born February 16th and is an American actor, director, television host. You know, he played in Roots, he played in The Next Generation, you know, and also he has done a lot of TV shows and film, but he is very well known for being the host of the PBS Kids Educational TV series, Reading Rainbow, for over 23 years, from 1983 to 2006. He received 12 Daytime Emmys and a Peabody Award as a host and executive producer of Reading Rainbow. And I think that is so, yes, I think a lot of people didn't know that. I think a lot of people just, I think a lot of people just thought he was the voice behind it and people just put him out there. But he was the one that went and decided that he wanted to do this. And they backed him up and they put it out there and it became history. And shout out to him for just going out of his way to try to educate us on a mass level. As kids growing up, man, we used to love those books. We wanted to read more and more.
Pivotal, man.
It's so pivotal, so pivotal.
I grew up on Reading Rainbow, gang.
Exactly.
Look, when I hear that little flute come on and I hear them talk about butterflies in the sky, I don't care how old you are. I don't care if my mama, my daddy, my grand. I don't care who you are. Shut your mouth. Know your role. LeVar Burton on.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's
those old people talk about my stories is on. Those are our stories.
Exactly. And I used to cry when it go off because the music is so mesmerizing. Like you would sing with it, you knew the melody, you knew the words, but it would just the harmonizing of it hits you so hard. Like it was a really good produced show. And you know, shout out to him for doing that, man. 23 years. He had us going to the public library, renting out books, reading these books, and that's why a lot of people around our generation was very highly educated due to him. You know, even with us, you could tell through us how we got affected by what he did. You know what I'm saying? So definitely shout out to LeVar Burton for the wonderful stuff he has done, and kudos to him, man. Definitely great pioneer.
One thing about that era, of course that's not recommended, but you could almost during certain segments of the day, you could almost really let the TV sit there and watch your children for you, because you knew if you had on the right channel like PBS and whatnot, you knew that there was going to be a minimal amount of BS that your kids were going to take in, and they were going to walk away with something. You could have asked them, "What did you learn today?" and they were going to start quoting stuff from there. Not so much now, but we got exposed to a lot of great classical books like Beowulf, Shakespeare, Macbeth, all kind of classic literature and text that a lot of kids today probably don't know anything about. Like you have to be a self-made bookworm nowadays almost to know about some of these titles at an early age. But because we had Reading Rainbow, Wishbone, those kind of things back there, man, we really got a world-class education on the low.
Correct. Definitely, man. So shout out to him for being legendary in that field. All right, so next we have Albert Richardson. And Albert Richardson is a very unknown sleeper. He's one of those low-key, under-the-radar inventors that a lot of people didn't know he invented stuff. So Albert Richardson is the inventor of butter churn and casket and the casket lowering device. Until 1891, anyone wanted to make butter would have to do so by hand in a bowl. On February 17, 1891, Richardson patented the butter churn. The device consists of large wooden cylinder container with a plunger-like handle which moved up and down. In doing so, the movement caused oily parts of the cream or milk to become separated from the more watery parts. This allowed for an easy way to make butter and forever changed the food industry. In 1894, Richardson saw a problem with the way bodies of dead people were buried. It was common at that time to simply bury bodies in a small, shallow grave or try to lower their caskets with ropes into a deeper hole. Unfortunately, this required several people to work in unison to ensure that the casket was lowered evenly. Failure to do so could cause the casket to slip out of one's ropes and damage from hitting the ground. On November 13, 1894, Richardson patented the casket lowering device, which consists of a series of pulleys and ropes and cloths, which ensured uniformity in lowering the process. The invention was significant at the time and is used for all cemeteries today. In addition to these devices, Richardson patented a ham fastener in 1882, an insect destroyer February of 1899, and the improvement of the design of the bottle in December of 1899. So shout out to Albert Richardson for really having his hands in so many things, and all of them really aren't connected. These were just things he just saw and felt like he needed to basically invent something to make our lives a bit easier. So shout out to Albert Richardson for being such a low-key inventor, and I think he definitely deserves the honors that he has today, because as if you have a parent or family member that passed away, and everybody know, we always see them lowering and people cry when their body get lowered into the ground.
Yeah.
So credit Albert Richardson for making sure that your family members is lowered into the ground safely and not having their casket crack and their body fall out of it. So shout out to Albert Richardson for that. Definitely dope, dude.
That's right. Okay.
And then next one, the last we have here is Paul Revere, right? Paul Revere Williams. So a lot of people don't know who Paul Revere Williams is. He was an American architect based in Los Angeles, California. He practiced mostly in the Southern California and designed the homes of numerous celebrities, including Frank Sinatra, Lucille Ball, and Desi Arnaz, also Lon Chaney, Barbara Stanwyck, and Charles Corral. He also designed many public and private buildings. Williams won an architect competition at the age of 25, and 3 years later opened his own office, known as the Outstanding Draftsman. He perfected the skill of rendering drawings upside down. The skill was developed because in the 1920s, many of the white clients felt uncomfortable sitting directly next to a black man. He learned to draft upside down so that he could sit across the desk from his clients, who would see his drafts right side up. Struggling to gain attention, he served on the first Los Angeles City Planning Commission in 1920. From 1921 to 1924, Williams worked for Los Angeles architect John C. Austin, eventually became chief draftsman before establishing his own office. In 1923, Williams became the first African-American member of the American Institute of Architects, the AIA. In 1939, he won the AIA Award of Merit for his design on the MCA building in Beverly Hills, now the headquarters of the Paradigm Talent Agency. During World War II, Williams worked for the Navy Department as the architect. During his career, Williams designed over 2,000 buildings. And I think one of the buildings, if I'm not mistaken, was, I think he did a home for Quincy Jones, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
I think I heard that.
Yeah, shout out to that dude, man. Definitely powerful dude. So yeah, definitely, man. That is our Black History Weekly wrap up for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned some new things. The feedback from you guys. What do you think?
I mean, that's inspiring as hell, man. You got these guys. I mean, they did so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes me feel like I need to go out and do something. Like this week, I need to go and do more than I'm already doing. Like, damn. And those guys didn't even have rights back then. Exactly. And they were doing all this stuff, man. They were inventing all this stuff. Sometimes they couldn't even get a patent. See, this is why I don't have patience for excuse makers. You dig? Because, you know, these guys got out there and they just did it and let the chips fall where they may. You're not always necessarily going to get your just due. But what will never be forgotten is your contribution to the struggle. You understand? That's what will live on forever. And I feel like these guys put the most into that, man. Like, wow. All of those guys, you know, some of them, were back in the days and they didn't have their rights or whatever. But then you have the LeVar Burtons, who's a more current, guy, you know, who made Black history that we all know about and we all grew up with. But still,
Correct.
I don't think LeVar Burton was out there whining and complaining or whatever the case may be. I'm sure he ran into roadblocks. I'm sure there were people who tried to block him from what he was trying to do, but he got that executive production credit.
Correct.
You feel me? This is just how you roll out here as a man. You know, as a saying, I've always said to people in my family, real men make things happen. Suckers make excuses. You dig? Yep. So are you gonna make excuses or make things happen? Shout out to those brothers and sisters there. I think there was maybe one sister, a sister or two, the opera sister, maybe another one. Shout out to those brothers and sisters there, though, for making things happen. That was very inspiring.
Correct. Definitely.
Absolutely. You know, those accomplishments, each and every single person listed, none of those accomplishments are a slight thing or a minuscule thing. Those are all big, top level achievements that they pulled off, man. I knew Paul Revere was familiar because I heard before about his ability to be able to draft and to draw upside down. I heard about that.
Yeah.
I did not hear about the reasoning behind it, and it makes so much sense. And it's crazy how, you know, we are the original. The whole MacGyver thing was based off of Black people. You literally toss us in a locked room with some pre-owned chewing gum, a soaking wet matchstick, and a paperclip. You come back in a week, we got the whole damn GM automotive plant cranking hybrid cars. You know, it's just that the determination that we have, the creativity, and the will, man. You know, shout out my brother Junior Oliver, man. Like he says, find a way or make one. You know, you can have excuses or you can have results. You cannot have both. They're like oil and water. But all those things are revolutionary. The sister, who's the opera singer, shout out to her. The PMI where she trained at back in those days, man. Even now to the day that institute still exists. That is considered one of the top level producers of vocal talent in the world out there in Alabama. That's not a slight feature. And back in those days, for her to be able to be admitted there, that says a lot, not just about her skill level, because, you know, of course, she had to be overly qualified to be permitted there, but also speaks to the tenacity and the determination he has to be able to tolerate what she was subjected to. I saw a picture earlier today of a brother, I forgot his name. I think Black Knowledge shared it. But this brother, he was the first to be admitted to this program, and the first Black person to be admitted to this program in the school in 1948, I believe. And they actually have a picture of him. You see him there in the classroom, and it's just so, you know, insulting. This is college. It's a grown-ass man. And they got looking like a kindergarten class when you have all the white students that are in like the front right section of the classroom, you know, where the teacher is learning everything. And they got this man like he's in kindergarten timeout in the furthest corner of the room, his little desk. And he's supposed to be listening to what the teacher has to say. He's seeing off the board and copying, taking notes and everything else. But that determination where it's like, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to get it one way or the other. You know, and of course, we're going to definitely knock down the doors and we're going to kick down the walls and we're going to make things better. We're going to right the status quo and get what's coming to us. But while we're doing that at the same time, we're going to definitely occupy and we're going to get everything that is available to get here. So if it's just one grain of sand, we're going to get that grain of sand as well. And we definitely need to let these things motivate us in that regard. We're not at the ideal yet. We're working on it. But while we're working on it, let's get everything we can where we at and make something shake the way we historically have done and presently are doing.
It is.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. I think I saw that picture too. I think the desk was so small. He was like crammed up in it, if I'm not mistaken. But it was really insulting. But, you know, the things that our elders had to go through and endure, and then to make those strides, it just shows you how 2 times more dope they were than everybody else. because they had to do it under such stress and less resources.
Really?
So, shout out to our ancestors. And that's why it's so important for us to highlight them, because we're missing a lot of great gems and a lot of great motivation for the next generation. Because like I tell people, when you see people that look like you, that are doing these incredible things, it forces you to want to do something just as great as them. And because they hide those images and hide these people from us, and they keep giving us the same people around Black History Month, which is the Dr. Kings, the Malcolm X, great people, but we don't need to keep repeating them every year. We got to highlight people that have been left in the wind and the dust, and that's what we're doing. And even just by doing that, I've had so many people contact me throughout the month so far and was like, yo, I didn't even know half of these people that you were saying, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't know how great they were, and these are grown people. So imagine the impact it would be on the younger generation who are looking to go into a different ave and career and see that inspiration and be inspired. Also, you as a parent also have to take your children out and let them see the real deal. Sometimes being inspired by being in the field, like a lot of times, when people go out there and feed the homeless with their children, it becomes very impactful to them. So they want to grow up to do something where they can help out the community and people that aren't doing so good. So sometimes the hands-on helps just as much. And that's where I think we lost that kind of internship. Remember, we used to take your children to work days. Those was impactful, taking your child. And, if you were in a clerical work, you take your little daughter in there and she's filing papers and doing stuff. And it inspired her to want to do something in that area as well. You take your little son with you, he going doing some plumbing work at a young age. Now he's picking up the hammer around the house, trying to nail things in. Those are inspiration stuff. So, just getting back to the basics and the fundamental and the foundation of what made us great. And that's why we can pivot into our tonight's topic, which is, getting back to the foundation of everything when it comes to setting boundaries, getting respect, and, the morals, So definitely I want to start off with the definition of moral, right? So moral, a lesson, especially one concerning what is right and prudent, that can be derived from a story, a piece of information, or experience. The moral of the story was that one must see the beauty in what one has. A person's standards or behavior or beliefs concerning what is and is not acceptable for them to do. The corruption of public morals. All right. And then we got boundaries, right? Boundary. So a line that marks the limits of an area, a dividing line, a limit of a subject or sphere of activity, a community without class or political boundaries. All right. Next one we have is respect, a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something by their abilities, qualities, and achievements. The director had a lot of respect for Douglas as an actor, due regards for the feelings, wishes, rights, and traditions of others. Young people's lack of respect for their parents. Admired deeply as a result of their ability, qualities, and achievements. She was respected by everyone she worked with. All right. Last but not least is, what is the true meaning of boundaries? Personal boundaries are guidelines, rules, and limits that a person creates to identify reasonable, safe, and permissible ways for other people to behave towards them and how they will respond when somebody passes those limits. And what made me come up with that is because, we had a big controversy going on. And I definitely want to go into our first subject of the night, which is our trendy weekly topics, right? So we definitely want to get into that. And the trendy topic of this week was, as you guys know, that Usher had, did a Super Bowl presentation, and he had a show that he had, and it created a sandstorm because there was some division of what had happened and what was going on. Everybody knows that Alicia Keys is married to Swiss Beats, and Usher has been involved with a woman that he actually ended up marrying right after the Super Bowl. The day after the Super Bowl, he ended up marrying this woman. But before he married this woman, he did a performance with Alicia Keys on the stage. And during that time that he did the performance, you know, there was a controversy of, was Usher going too far? And a lot of times people were saying, well, a lot of people were saying, oh, they're performers, that's what they do. And, you know, y'all men are insecure. So I heard a lot of insecure being thrown out there. And I think one thing that I really don't like when it comes to women, and there's some guys that just follow what women do. You know, those guys that be like Dinga from Barbershop. Oh, I want to do whatever Terry likes to do. I want to, you know, those type of dudes that be up in your ass all the time, right? So you have a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
Huh?
Then Russell Wilson niggas. Yeah.
Yeah. You had a lot of those guys that were co-signing what women were saying. Oh, they're entertainers and you men have a problem with it. Then, you know, you guys are insecure. And if Swiss Beats don't have a problem with it, then y'all shouldn't have a problem with it. So everybody had the issue with it. There was a lot of guys that had an issue with it. Some women had issues with it, but there was other people that didn't have issues with it. And then afterwards, Swiss Beats came out and he had put out a statement saying that, you know, oh, he's fine with it. You know, nobody should have a problem with what's going on. It's two great entertainers doing what they do best, right? And I was like, and what I felt of that situation was, you know, as a man, and this is something serious. This, I think a lot of people don't take this in consideration. A man has a double sword when dealing with situations. There is no way out without cutting himself. Because if you do say something about a man groping up your wife on stage during a performance, then now you look like the bitch made dude, right? And they say, oh, you are crabbing and you're insecure, just like they did with the Keke Palmer dude who had something to say when Keke Palmer was, you know, all up in this dude's face. And he didn't address Usher, he addressed Keke, and everybody was downing him and clowning him and doing all this other stuff and cheering Keke Palmer on, right? So if he saw that and probably was like, I don't want to be like Keke Palmer's dude, so let me just take the higher road and say, hey, I don't have a problem with it. It's just two professional performers and this and that. And I think what happens is a lot of times people think they see that and be like, ah, look, the person who really supposed to get mad ain't mad, so why y'all getting mad? But the reality of it is that a lot of the guys that take that route, like Swiss route, a lot of them be down inside crying and mad as fuck, but they just can't out it to the public. And that type of animosity now builds up inside of them. And that energy now is built up inside of him. And now it destroys part of him secretly. And this is why people don't understand, like 3 times more likely men commit suicide, because a lot of times men hide their true feelings for their women's happiness.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
And this is real shit. Like, this is a side that people don't understand. And men can't talk about it unless they go into the deep down Ave of the barbershop. This is the barbershop talk. The therapy sessions for the black men was barbershop, you know, and we don't have the barbershop talk no more because everybody got cameras in the barbershop. So all the secretive stuff that we used to hash out with our homeboys giving us advice and stuff, we don't have that anymore. So now you get demonized when you put it out there that you're okay with it, but deep down inside, that should be tearing you up, especially when you see the memes going around and what people got to say. Like you have Gervonta Davis, who I like him as a professional boxer, and he spoke on it and he said, you know, Usher would have been on his way to the hospital as if I was Swiss, you know what I'm saying? And I think some people were also saying, he said, You know, one guy was like, he ain't lying. Another guy says, I feel him. If it wasn't Usher, he'll be canceled by now. And then he said facts. You know what I'm saying? So you have men out here that's agreeing with it because, listen, I just told you about boundaries, right? When you have people out here, there's boundaries. So don't tell me about nothing about entertaining, because let me tell you something. People was talking about comparing him, singer to acting. No. That's totally different. An actor has to go by the script. If the script says that the movie asks for a black male to make a love scene with a woman, and a woman that is a black woman, slim built, young age, and she has to do a sex scene and do oral sex on this man, that's what you sign up for. You read the script before you go in. So if you have a mate, you go over it with your mate, say, hey, this is what they asking for in the script. This is what I got to do. Now your mate sits back and say, well, you're an actress, so whatever you got going on, that's cool because you're an actress. This is what I signed up for. That's a different thing because it's a script. You have to go by scripts, right? And even then you can sit back and say, I don't want to do the script or not. But you still, the actress and actor has to go by the script. You either roll with the script or you don't. That's plain and simple. As an entertainer and a performer, that wasn't part of the script. That was him doing what he wanted to do. That was most performers, they improv, right? When you're on stage, you improv for the crowd. And that's what Usher did. He improv and did the extra stuff with Alicia Keys that he did not have to do. You know what I'm saying? And people don't understand that. And one of the videos I didn't get to upload, but one of the videos I wanted to show you guys, he was on stage with Summer Walker. And I want you to see how critical this was, because he was on stage with Summer Walker. And guess what? He did his little antics of, like, you know, acting like he was trying to slap her from behind from a far distance, like slap her booty. And he didn't go nowhere to touch her. And then he was dancing around her, no close contact with her, right? And I seen this video, and I remember Amon, shout out to Amon, he had posted it, and I said, there's a difference in this, right? Yeah. And I said, it's funny because the difference, when I looked it up, guess what? Guess who Summer Walker had got back with when this performance took place? She got back with Little Meech.
With Little Meech, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't understand that too. Like, these performers and certain people, they respect you by your mate. Nigga don't want no smoke with Lil Meech. You feel me? So of course he's not gonna go on there and be rubbing up on her and gripping up on her, and then gonna have to tell Little Meech, "Oh, my bad, dog. I didn't mean to get up on your woman like that. We just performing." No, because Meech gonna come up to you and punch you.
It's just a performance, man. You're insecure, man.
Exactly. So you gonna get punched in your shit and dealt with by Little Meech. See, and I feel like he took that jab at Swiss because Swiss don't have that. He don't have that report. You don't know Swiss to be out here as no thug dude. Swiss might roll with some thug dude, but Swiss ain't no thug dude. He ain't that type of dude. Like you feel me? So if you're not that type of dude, nigga gonna try you. It is what it is. Nigga gonna try you. You feel me? And us should try him. And another thing that I want before I land my plane, a lot of people have to understand when you are doing things repetitively, it becomes a part of you. And remember, he had a residency where he was doing this with other people's girls at the residency, where the Keke Palmer got him so much sold out shows and things like that. And that shit got into Usher's head, right? And Usher thinks he's this play dude because, you know, his famous line is, "Don't leave your girl around me, true player for real, asking it for real," right? And so he has this mentality like, yo, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get what I need to get up out of it, get the rouse up out of it, get the controversy up out of it, and it's working into my benefit. So now you have a residency, quote unquote, performance on a big stage, one of the largest stages. You have your shows that's going online now that you're about to sell. So why not create the biggest controversy at the expense of another man's respect and boundaries on his wife? Like, people don't take that into consideration. You know what I'm saying? And you have to understand that deepness of it and that psychological part to also put in there to let this man know, like, yo, this was some foul shit he did, and not to be rid off as something that was just a performance. And I land my plane on that.
Yeah, you said a mouthful. What is it that go ahead.
Oh, go right ahead.
No, I was just saying he said a mouthful there, man. That's heavy talk, man. Look, Bobby, brother, man, look, it's so many layers to this. You know, the thing that stands out to me the most, bro, because people keep talking about Usher. Usher would have been in the hospital, this, that, and the third, da. I say, especially when you're dealing with somebody like Usher, you're supposed to preemptively check this dude. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just talking about Swizz. I'm talking about her. You understand what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, this is a performance that you're doing with him. You know this dude's getting down like this. Usher is, I'm a very big fan of Usher, but lately, he's not been very respectful to some of the ladies he's been performing with. And I really don't like that. You know what I'm saying? That's foul, that's flaw. And it has nothing to do with me having low self-esteem or being insecure or any of the other bullshit they want to tell you. You know, you see something that you don't like that kind of creeps you out a little bit. You just don't like it. You know, I saw him, you know, walking behind Mary J. Blige, doing the little fingers, you know, behind her booty while she's walking. It's like, bro, that's just not called for. You know, you're Usher, you're an international superstar. You don't want to keep doing that and end up being labeled a damn creep. You know what I'm saying? Because for black males, let's not forget, you're still a black man. You know what I'm saying? So that white media that's got you looking, you know, real fly right now, you do that shit on stage with Taylor Swift, it's going to be another situation. Let's get it straight. You understand?
Yep.
So
let's
be real with how we respect each other, because at the end of the day, it's this. Some of us feel like we don't have to properly respect this. I don't even think he would have tried Taylor Swift like that, to be quite honest. You understand? Or a white artist. I just ain't feeling it, you know, and no disrespect to Usher, no shade to Usher. But that's corny to me. You know, and Swizz, you know, what Swizz said what he said to save face. He did not say that he was okay with it. He never said that. What he said was, y'all worried about the wrong thing. And we don't focus on negativity over here. He said everything but he was okay with it. Read the statement. He never said I'm cool with it.
That's political as hell.
And, you know, people who don't really get it, people who don't understand how things are when your woman is important to you, because quiet as it's kept, a lot of us have that issue. You know, she there, but she ain't really there. You know, a lot of us view our women like that. So really wouldn't trip. You know, they really wouldn't trip that much on something like that. You understand what I'm saying? Especially, a big name star like Usher. Oh, Lord. You know, all of a sudden the nigga start being more groupie than the average Instagram thought. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, bro. Especially Swizz, you a legend out here in the game. You know, so nah, I really wasn't feeling that. I thought it was corny as hell. I think Usher needs to stop doing that. I cringe every time I see him do that, you know, where he's being all extra with the females that he's on stage with, or, you know, even the ones in the residency. All it takes is for one of them to say, he made me feel uncomfortable. Rap for your ass, nigga. You understand? So, nah, you know, I don't think that's wise. And I don't think it's something that he should continue doing. I think it's corny as hell. I think it's disrespectful. And I think that at the end of the day, sisters need to really step up and start claiming their respect. Because, you know, right now, as a black woman, unfortunately, it's the fly shit to do to kind of be a little thotty, be a little hoish. That ain't it either. You know, like, sisters got to take their respect back. You know, the Sexy Reds and Suki Hanas of the world got niggas thinking they could just treat sisters any old kind of way, talk to sisters any old kind of way, interact with sisters any old kind of way. No. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, that's some bullshit right there. And I know dude was saving face or whatever. That's soft too. You know, you got to say it with your chest, you know, and not be afraid of the consequences. Too many dudes out here worried about what somebody going to say. Oh, I don't want them to come for me. if you don't want them to come for you, what's the purpose of even having manhood? What's the point? You might as well just crack open your booty hole and just let whatever go. You dig? Nah, bro. We ain't doing that over here. Not on this platform. Hell to the no. We don't get down like that. That's some bullshit. And you know, like I said, the ladies need to start setting certain boundaries, because I can tell you right now, you know, I don't give a damn what it is, you know, who's where or what they're doing. Ain't nobody gonna call my wife like that. She gonna back the hell up off. What the hell wrong with you?
Yeah.
Because it's a respect thing, and that's respect over everything. So I wasn't feeling that shit, and Usher need to chill before he get his ass whooped.
Oh God.
It's loaded. It's loaded. It's coming.
Look, I keep saying it because this is one of my maxims, one of my adages for life, because I can't miss and turn 2 or 3 degrees without stubbing my toe into something that just further verifies it. The devil knows who to try.
Yeah. Yeah. Right?
Plain and simple. The devil knows exactly who to try. Because again, like you pointed out, and I was gonna say before you mentioned that, but that's a perfect object lesson. When he found out that Summer Walker was clipped up with Lil Meech again, he understood that those were problems.
Yeah.
And no matter how much he's making from his residency, no matter how much he's getting back from his tours, no matter how much he's making off of his catalog or from his profiting from his image and his music, he understands that those problems right there are at a budget he can't afford. He ain't got the pockets for that.
There it is.
He try and buy those problems, he'll get himself bankrupt. And so he moved accordingly. And that wasn't necessarily because of his respect for Summer Walker. Now, I'm sure Summer wouldn't have minded us more, but I'm pretty sure in that case, there was less about Summer, more about the dude who she was connected with.
Right. Right.
That's also an excellent segue. We're not going to go there, but that's also an excellent segue into the powers of masculine protection and how just by who you're associated with, that right there can automatically make your life easier, more difficult.
Right.
That's a subject for another day. We're going to put a pin on that. But the point is, ultimately, certain men don't play certain things, and men understand that. Men understand men.
Real talk.
There's a threat of violence that comes when you violate, when you cross certain lines, certain boundaries. You understand, hey, I'm risking some stuff. And Usher, unfortunately, has been the beneficiary of an era where female disrespect towards men as at an all-time high.
Yes, it is.
Where this whole mindset of, I'm going to do what I want to do. Hell, I can basically behave like I'm single while I'm with a whole entire man, whether he's my boyfriend, even if he's my husband, and I can behave the way I want to, especially if I'm a celebrity, and I can just call him insecure. I can humiliate him and denigrate him on somebody's talk show, on somebody's social media post, on somebody's live stream. I have a whole bunch of other women and sucker simps online who are going to go in and they're going to be my little sounding board and they're going to amplify my sentiments toward him. Everybody don't play that.
Yeah.
Everyone don't play the radio. But what I think is interesting is now that Usher is a married man, it's going to be very interesting to see if he continues this whole "don't leave your girl around me" and true play for real. That's for real. It's going to be interesting to see if he sticks with that and he tries his wife like that, or if he's going to do what these women don't have the discipline and the common sense to do and respect his relationship. That's going to be funny. Number one. And the final thing I'm going to say is, as far as Swizz's response to everything, that's not a surprise to me. And also, not saying that he chose for that reason, but even Usher feeling comfortable to do that with Alicia Keys, that's not a surprise to me at all, because you have to understand, people see. A lot of people forgot, but some people didn't forget.
I know you
remember. We recall exactly how Swizz Keys Alicia Beats became a thing. We understand that.
Right.
We recall how Alicia Keys basically played the role of ho 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 home. I'm not gonna say record, but ho 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 home renovator. And went ahead and came in as Swizz's side piece.
Come on now.
And how that devastated and broke up his marriage with Mashonda.
Come on now.
We understand that no matter how clean cut she might have been, and there's a little colorism that comes in that as well too. The good, the light skinned good girl. Look, hey, I ain't got no kid gloves on. Woo! No protection. I'm dangerous tonight. Ain't nobody safe.
Let that man cook.
Ain't nobody safe.
Hold up.
The light skinned good girl with the good hair, fair complexion. Well, when she don't have her makeup on, anyways. But with the nice complexion. The sweet sultry songbird, the one that you can take home to mom and all that good stuff. She ain't inked up all over the place. None of the booger wolf piercings and everything. Right. The clean cut chick. She came in and she played the role of seductress and temptress and broke up the home.
Right.
Right. Usher remembers. Peppered Farm remembers. So other people see what the standard is for the relationship that you ushered in. And so I'm not surprised that Swizz would respond the way he did, because he low-key tried to even get a whole little poly thing going with her and Mashonda. And supposedly, they came with that little joint book about co-parenting, and they seemed a little way too close for people. That's just because I've seen what it looks like when you have 3 or 4 people in a co-parenting situation. I've seen what that looks like. I've also seen what it looks like when the so-called co-parent is being invited to some extracurricular activity, either with one person or with both. I've seen what that looks like too. And I'm telling you that their whole get down appeared to be more of the latter than the former. So it doesn't surprise me that Swizz would take a very lackadaisical, dismissive attitude, because he understands that the same way how he got an Alicia Keys, he can get another Alicia Keys. As soon as he feel like if he feel like this one is being too problematic or too disrespectful, he understands he can swap out this Alicia Keys for a newer model. Well, you've got to watch it and see. A lot of women take great pride, unfortunately, when they have these husbands that appear to be so dismissive of them. My husband doesn't trip about that. He lets me do whatever I want. In fact, he likes to show me off and everything. Okay.
Right.
Now, the reason some of your dudes are that comfortable or confident doing that is because they don't really value you like that.
Real talk.
They use you as an accessory. They use you for clout, as for a come up. Because here's the thing. Most of those dudes, they don't mind lending you to the world like that. But I bet they got other things like they don't play that with. They don't treat their cards that way. Their cards are sacred and precious. You can't miss it so much as bump into one of them when they finish waxing them. Or maybe it's their sneaker collection. You miss it so much as lightly graze their sneaker. They're ready to tear your whole head off. So they value other things, but just not you. You are a means to an end. So be careful about what you go out there for. Masculine protection looks like it's not oppressive, but it is insulating. It protects you and shields you from your own worst impulses, but it also safeguards you from the designs of those out there who don't have honorable intentions for you. And I'm telling you right now, I'm putting my name on it right now. This is coming from Bobby Drake. A man that truly loves and cherishes his wife is not going to have the response of a Swizz Beatz. And a woman that truly values and cherishes her husband and has proper respect for him is not going to comport herself like a Alicia Keys. I'm landing my hovercraft. Needs to refuel.
Definitely. I've talked to my peoples and other people as well, and they said that they would have had put something. They would have talked beforehand to telling them, hey, this is how it's going to run, and that's it. No touching, out of respect for my husband. You know what I'm saying? And that's just talking to women that knows their respect and their boundaries, that they would never make their husband look like that. See, that's right. And that's the thing about it. Like, a lot of people don't understand, like, there's women out there that they cherish you so much. Even if you didn't have a problem with it, they would still not do it just because they loved you just that much.
Real
and I think a lot of
he may not know better, but she knows better.
Exactly.
She already has that standard. She doesn't have to be given that by him. She has a standard herself.
Correct.
And even if he goes ahead and says, it's okay, baby, you can do it, it doesn't feel right to her, so she's not going to do that. Mm-hmm. And that's a woman that really, really loves you right there. If you got one right there, you don't even got to let her know, babe, this is off limits. She'll be at it before you do.
Correct.
That's real.
Real ass talk.
That's
my issue. Everybody keep getting mad at Usher, and nobody's holding her accountable. You know, like, did you see the look on her face while all this was taking place?
Yeah.
Really? Shit.
I know they was sick at the top of their lungs. I know it's hot out there. I know they was moving, but I'm pretty sure if you check her, there's gonna be fluids that came from her pores, but there's gonna be some other fluids that came from somewhere else as well. Pretty positive about that.
I think the reason why people don't even check Alicia Keys because she basically, that's her thing. Like Bobby was saying, she swiddled in to somebody else's marriage. So women like that will play any side of their fence they feel like they're getting coddled and played in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like somebody like that don't have boundaries for themselves because you over there crossing a married man's boundaries to get the husband, and you got him.
But she also, and I got to go back there again. I don't often entertain this because typically colorism is an issue that women are the ones that propagate. But at the same time, this is a case where it does cross boundaries. Again, it's because of her overall appeal. Everything about her says good girl. In fact, I would say if we're going to use stereotypes, everything about Alicia Keys suggests that she has the whole kind of church girl vibes and aesthetic. Mm-hmm. Even her music has never been known for being, now she has had a couple little risky joints here and there, but even her music, it has never come off as thotty or risky. Yeah. It's always, in fact, she's even taken some criticism over the years. Why her music sounds like this, it doesn't sound more whatever. Now, even though she's not like, rich, dark, chocolate complexion like Foxy Brown, Mashonda is a darker woman. And I'm pretty sure if this was Mashonda getting down like this, that sister, on the strength of her complexion and her look, wasn't going to get the same kind of grace that Alicia Keys got in this case and that she's been getting. So if we're going to be honest, let's keep it a rack and a stack. I'm not going to say who's going to be getting in on her like that, but I'm pretty sure for men and women alike, it would be a different response as opposed to the way it is if it was a Summer Walker as opposed to an Alicia Keys. I'm pretty sure it was going to be a different response, or at least one would be easier to understand than the other.
Definitely. And just to stay on the topic of Little Meech, did y'all see what Little Meech said recently?
Oh, let's see that.
All right, so Little Meech said this. Little Meech wants to know why nobody's posting this bar from Lotto's song. Lotto said, body count so low, I might say I'm a virgin. Why nobody's posting that part? I just want to show this video real quick, and then I'll let you guys go in on it, all right?
Church out there. Women that sleep with more than 5 men, they only have a 20% success rate at marriage. And let me tell you, coming from a broken family and coming from my own relationship challenges and divorce, and my children have been divorced, that is not happiness, right? I would choose to have my family together at 100%. And I did that. I brought my family back together after divorce, and it didn't work out in the end. And I think a lot of it has to do with the programming around being a boss babe and, your husband and, the man and all this stuff.
Yeah. So he's saying that women, man goes viral saying women who sleep with over 5 men have a 20% success rate at marriage. So just to give you guys both hands of what they just said, what do you guys think about that?
Bobby, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll jump on that. What he said is a novel. I've seen that idea floated around, and I know that there was I had to say with the one part, I had so many gems in my old phone, man. Dang. But there was some results from a survey that had been done. I know people attack anything that doesn't say what they wanted to say, so I'm not even entertaining that too much. But there was a survey that was conducted that indicated the likeliness of divorce after a set amount of partners, and it does correlate with what he said, where pretty much if you, as a woman, if you reach 5 partners and up, 5 sexual partners and up, you are more likely to divorce. After a point, as you add on, the rate gets worse and worse and worse. It's almost a given. And some are going to say that that's pseudoscience, of course.
Of course.
But there is something to that. There's a quote that I bumped into. It's an old quote that I'm familiar with, but I haven't heard in a while. And I think it's funny that I saw that today and then I'm seeing this here. And the quote basically says, "Comparison is a thief of joy." Comparison is a thief of joy. Basically, the idea that if you're always constantly in a state of comparing this against that, juxtaposing over here with over there, what ends up happening is you get to a point, and we see this in a lot of other areas as well too. So it's not a surprise that this would also be related to, your body count or your sexual partners versus your success in being able to make one relationship work. But when you are constantly in a state where you're always comparing and contrasting and, well, this is better over here, I like this one more, what happens is you get to a point where you are not easily satisfied. And this also leads into the debate over settling. The whole, well, I'm not settling, I know my worth, this, that, and the third. At some point, and I'm just going to be blunt about this. I'm terribly sorry. I try to keep it family friendly on here, but I got to be blunt about this. I'm sorry. But at what point is enough fucking enough? At what point do you stop chasing the next latest and greatest thing? I mean, my God, man. One of the biggest things that robs people of being happy is when they're constantly in a state where they are unable to appreciate and be content with what they have. I'm not saying that you shouldn't strive for good, because you should definitely strive for better in a lot of areas. And I think the biggest area where you should be striving for more should be in personal growth and development, which ironically is what a lot of people tend to shy away from.
Right.
They'll always seek the biggest and the best and the better of anybody and everything else, but they don't seek that of themselves and try to get there.
Right.
I believe that right there. That's the first problem. But when you're constantly in a state, bring this back to partners, where you have so many different points of comparison, you're able to, talking to women, I like the size of his dick over here, or, ooh, he had a really good stroke over there, whatever. And you have a partner who may not be the best at anything, but he's a solid average at all those, or at least he has a couple points that are really decent. You get to a point where it's like, you know what? I can think of at least 3 or 4 dudes who are better than him in XYZ. Why should I stick with him?
Yeah.
And that makes it difficult. And there's some brothers that have that same issue as well, too. They're so busy chasing after the latest and greatest, come to find out, okay, well, I finally got out of my system. And how many decent women that you could have really built something substantial with did you burn in the process?
Mm-hmm.
At some point, enough has to be enough.
Yes.
Nobody is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
People like to say this when they're making excuses, but they don't really think about what this means overall. Nobody is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Especially you. So that means that you are going to have to deal with and put up with some people's flaws, failures, and shortcomings in some areas, the same way they're going to have to put up with the flaws, shortcomings, and failures in your rinky-dink ass.
It is.
You got the nerve to complain about how your partner does X, Y, Z and doesn't do this enough. Have you started thinking for 1 second all the ways you let them down?
I'm just saying.
No, you don't. Because you've got it all together. You somehow are in the skybox calling all the audibles. Everybody has to rise to your standard and meet you at your level, but you're above that.
Right.
Solipsism is basically where you have people that are unable to entertain reality outside the one they've created for themselves. So they have this whole narrative of their mind and the reality that they live in going on, and it can be completely night and day to what the actual real world is. But nobody and nothing can get in between them and their headspace that tells them that this is how the world is. So when you have people that's jumping to multiple partners and constantly have an attitude of, well, I can always get somebody new. I can always get somebody new. I can always get somebody new. That is a cancer for a relationship, because a marriage specifically, I'm not talking about these infinity boyfriend, girlfriend things. Once you go down that route, you're on your own. May the odds be ever in your favor. You set those rules up and do what you want to do. But we're talking about within the confines of a marriage. Marriage is work. Marriage is labor. The honeymoon is great. It's awesome. The wedding is amazing. It's beautiful. It's heartwarming. But marriage is work. Marriage is a vehicle for growth, for personal development. It's having someone who sees you at your highs and lows, all your goods and bads, and they still choose you. They're still working with you. They point out your flaws. They show you where you need to improve, and they promise that they're going to stick there and be with you through that process, and you do the same for them. That's work. Mm-hmm. That's having arguments and button heads, but when you all wake up in the morning and saying, you know what, despite everything we went through yesterday, I still choose you today. I'm going to choose you tomorrow. That's work.
Yeah.
And if you have all these different points of comparison that you want to jump on, this person ain't that, this person ain't this, or I can do better, I know my worth, I'm not settling. How in God's name can you possibly be in it for the long haul?
Right.
So I agree with it. This to me is a universal law. We see this applicable in a wide swath of areas that don't even necessarily have anything to do with each other.
Mm-hmm. Well said. I mean, for me, man, I agree with Bobby on this. It's like, bruh, how long y'all gonna be out here juggling dicks? Like, real talk. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Bruh, somebody got to have a reason to respect you a little bit. God damn, you feel me?
Yeah.
Bruh, these females out here, they just don't have any type of decorum no more. You know, you say something like that to them, they look at you like you got 3 heads. What woman you know ain't had more than 5 men? Like, it doesn't happen anymore. Damn, bruh. So the expectation is 10 plus, 20 plus? What y'all doing out there? And you wonder why the unwed rate of women, Black women particularly, of marrying age is 68%. 68% unwed among women of marrying age. That don't make no damn sense. And that's one of the reasons why, to speak to the point without directly speaking to the point, because you asked, you know, how I felt about the number of partners and the non-success in marital rate. Okay, that's one question. But even before we get to that question, the mentality behind thinking that having 5 partners or less is a bad thing, that's a bigger issue to me, because you don't even get to that point unless you have this whole swath of women who feel like, oh, you're a prude if you have less than 5 partners. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of the norm now. Ever since hoe culture and thought culture then took over, you understand? It's women out here. I had a sister on my page the other day. Well, she's not on my page. I don't know her like that, but she just posted a random post. I want to try a one-night stand.
Damn.
20 years ago, a woman would never be seen publicly saying something like that and think it was okay.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
At all.
But that's where we are now. So yeah, you know, what he says makes perfect sense to me, because it doesn't, women have this penis envy thing where they want to try to be like us. They want to try to do what we do. And that's their biggest point of failure, because you can't do what we do. You're not designed to do what we do. Your emotions and your heart are going to take over and lead you to a very dark place. You understand? If you try to do what men do. And so they're getting out here trying to bang as many dudes as they can, because they see the dudes banging as many females as they can. And then at the end of the day, when they face dirty and don't nobody want them, they want to feel away. Oh, you insecure if you judging the women for how many bodies they have. You insecure. Okay, well, I'm insecure then. Get out my face. You understand what I'm saying? And that's just how guys feel, because any dude who's worth his salt, any real high value man that's about his business and on his square and got options, if you got a bunch of luggage and you got a bunch of baggage and mileage, he don't want your ass.
Yeah.
Period. So, yeah, you know, ladies, you need to keep that body count low. And what really is the fascination, you know, with feeling like you got to jump in the bed with every dude? You got to hop from dick to dick. You're changing dicks like you change drawers. Bruh, that ain't sexy. It's just not, you know, and you got too many women out here doing that. So shout out to him for putting that information out there. I believe it 1000%, because the way women are wired, you know, when you get into that mindset where you can just hop from dick to dick and it's cool, it's just willy-nilly, you know, you're not even fit for quote unquote marriage. You're not. You know what I'm saying? You might as well get you a damn OnlyFans. You dig? That's where your mind is going. You know, and I'm not shitting on women who, I'm not necessarily shitting on women who have more than 5 sexual partners. You can, I believe that you can have more than 5 sexual partners and have a successful marriage. However, however, I believe that the lower the percentage of sexual partners that you have, or the lower the number of sexual partners that you have prior to marriage, it probably is a greater chance that you will sustain a marriage. You got a lot of women out here, they can get married, they can get a boyfriend, they can get in a relationship, they just can't keep a man. And a lot of it is because of this mentality, you know, where they feel like they need to be more masculine than any man they've ever seen. That don't work. It don't work like that.
That's true.
Can't be two men in the relationship. You're already married to a man yourself.
I'm just saying.
That's true. There is a guy. I don't know if you guys know him, but his name is Yaki. What's his name? His name is Yaki Rapper Elam. I don't know if you guys know about him, but he's a super dope dude. I did reach out to him because he talks a lot about the body, the intake. You know, he does a lot of healing and fruits, and you know, on that the fruit diet and you know, well-being stuff. Kind of like a younger Dr. Sebi, but like more of a biochemist in that region. Super dope dude. Like if you ever get a chance to follow him, I know sometimes you might see him all over on different people's IG platforms and different podcasts. He's been out here talking about stuff. And I remember hearing one of his lectures. He talked about how women that date multiple men, when you have guys that ejaculate in you, the sperm flows through you, and you know, sperm flowing through the bloodstream, and it ends up going to your brain. And the different men are neurologically latching onto your brain. And that's why it causes a lot of confusion. And that's when he was talking about sharing demons with people and stuff like that. He's talking about it from a biological way and showing you how that type of stuff plays with the mentality of women. So when women have, you know, different men out here that they're sexually involved with, and you have these guys ejaculating in you, those sperm cells attached to your receptors in your brains, and it causes some kind of systemical confusion and have you out here on a different wavelength. So I thought it was super dope how he broke it down in a biological way. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, he has the video up. You guys can look at it. But I just wanted to make that point. And talking about that, speaking on that, we can pivot over to we talk about Erykah Badu. And Erykah Badu is one of those women that, you know, I respect Erykah Badu for her musical legendary skills and the music she has. You know, I play that on my radio station all the time.
No doubt.
But when it comes down to sexual deviance, I think her head is gone in different multiple directions. Even the men she messed with, sometimes I think they was talking about how Andre 3K hasn't been the same since he messed with Erykah Badu. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Well, I thought that was kind of interesting. But Erykah Badu, during the Super Bowl, she had made a tweet, and her tweet was telling women, this is the time to go cheat because all the real men are watching football and all the nerd dudes are out there, you know, available. And then she was like, look, I ain't got time to be fucking all night. You know, I got to put these beans on the stove and all that stuff. So I don't know if you guys seen that tweet, but like I said, this girl here, her name is Paradise Paris, and she actually checked her about it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to show this video real quick and show you exactly what was said in the interaction. And shout out to this sister for checking the elder on her foolishness. All right.
Yes. On Super Bowl Sunday, everybody favorite spiritual coochie having neo soul singer auntie decided to promote cheating and talking about men being soft when she should have been in the kitchen cooking us some chicken like I was. But of course, because she's who she is, everybody thought it was funny. It was a kiki. It was a gag. Okay, cool. My thing is, this is what I responded. Okay, I wake up this morning, here we are 2 days later into a week, and she got well over 4K quotes, so she had to come and find my tweet talking about my eyes is close together. Now, I ain't here to prove what my eyes look like to y'all. That's not why I'm here.
Okay, hold up. I want to stop it real quick because I know y'all can't see. So the first tweet when she said you're too old for this, so Erykah Badu tweeted about cheating and going out there because the real men are out there watching football. She said she retweeted her tweet saying, yo, you too old for this. So then Erykah Badu got all the response back. Like, they was like, she started like, what's the commotion on my page? And realized what this girl said to her. And then she came back and said that your eyes are something about her eyes are big as hell. And then she said, you don't have to lie, auntie. My eyes as big as yours, just like yours. We see everything. Just sell your coochie incense and go. So as you guys know, Erykah Badu promotes her own coochie smelling incense. It smells like her coochie. That's what she says. So I just want to catch y'all. I want to catch y'all up on that, and so y'all don't get lost. All right.
Talking about my eyes is close together. Now, I ain't here to prove what my eyes look like to y'all. That's not why I'm here. Point being, I don't care if it's Erykah Badu or if it's Michelle Obama. If you don't condone cheating, don't promote it either. Now, just in case y'all like, oh, it's a joke, it's a joke. Well, I mean, explain to herself.
Listen, y'all cannot age shame me, bag shame me, car shame me, creativity shame me.
Jesus.
Shit. Relationship shame me. Celebrity shame. None of that shit don't do nothing. It's ridiculous. Time moves so fast, you know. I'm lucky to be here. I'm happy to be here. I'm blessed to be here. And I'm killing you young motherfuckers. Killing y'all. Killing. Body, brains, mind, heart. Shit, you should see my fucking intestines. My shit is beautiful. So, shit don't work on me. Try it on your mama, on your mammy. Try it on your mammy. And like I said, Super Bowl Sunday was a good day to cheat. Because the men's gonna be watching football and the soft niggas and creative niggas gonna be, you know, just kind of free. But you know, I can't be fucking all night and shit. I gotta put these beans on. It's one time. That's it for me. Yes, I'm 53. Yep. Get over it. People age, bitch. This is what we do here. All mammals do it.
So it's a couple things here. She ain't feel hit by her age. She wouldn't have responded with what I said. She would have overlooked the tweet altogether. Secondly, y'all love praising people for spirituality, this, that, and the third. And what y'all be failing to get is this a certain level of patience and discernment to tune out negativity because energy transfers. You don't create anything new. So the same energy she felt I was probably giving her on that tweet, like, you're too old for this, putting her in her place. She wanted to attack my looks, which by that default, She wanted to really call me ugly, y'all. Let's just go ahead and put it out there. But point being, if you got an ad hominem attack for anything that somebody says to you that you can't actually retort with wisdom, knowledge, or just a factual pun, then you've lost. Okay? Then you've lost. It wasn't if you sent for me, I'm gonna come for you. No, it wasn't that. She was too old to be promoted cheating. And I triple down on what I said, because when Monique said, thank God I'm not 57 out here and trying, Erykah Badu is her peer, still 53 out here and trying. I know people are going to be like, oh, she's got you mad, she's got you upset. Well, no, actually, in all actuality, she doesn't. It's just the principle. I'm a person of principle. I know there are going to be a flock of people who support her. I too support her. She's a Black woman who's done great things as far as in the neo-soul industry. Kudos to her, power to my people during Black History Month. But I'm going to call a bird every time. There's no reason for a 53-year-old woman to sit there and be talking about something. It's time to go cheat while simultaneously emasculating men. Because like...
Woo! Woo! She was cooking. You were cooking, bro. Why you cut off?
No, I ain't cut off. She cut the video cut off because she was going so long. It passed the time. I think she did it so you could go to her YouTube.
No, that's not what happened. The video cut off because she cooked the servers.
She was
the bandwidth couldn't handle it.
She was combustible, gang.
Fire.
Whoa!
Yeah, she has the rest on her YouTube platform. But that's Paris. If you guys want to know who that is, that's Paradise Paris on Instagram.
I'm glad somebody said it, because man, boy, I saw that. I'm so disappointed in that sister. You know, like she said, you know, we all love her music. We all remember her from back in the days. And you know, when you see people with certain imagery, even though you don't know much about them, you get you almost infer that this person is conscious and deep and woke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, every time she does something, she shows us that she's anything but. You know what I'm saying? Like every other month, she putting up something low energy. You know what I'm saying? Every other month, and it's just to the point I unfollowed her. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't follow people like that. You know, I can enjoy the old music, but like, that was just dumb. Like it was an idiotic thing to say. It was absolutely pointless, and it wasn't funny at all. If that was her attempt at being funny, she fell on her damn face. That shit wasn't funny. She came off looking like an old fool. You know what I'm saying? And like, she's not the only one. While we at it, I mean, I could go on all night on this, but like, you got this weird energy where you got all of these women now that they're kind of middle-aged and they ain't got nobody. That seems to be the common thread. You're middle-aged and you're lonely and you just do stupid shit online. You know what I'm saying? That's a pattern now. You know, and I hate to see her and other sisters, you know, fall into that pattern. I can't name the last song she's come out with, but I can tell you about that tweet. Because the next day, everybody's retweeting it, talking about how low energy she is. I hate to see that for that sister, because I remember her in an admirable way. But this is how, you know, this weird energy with these older women mimicking the behavior of the younger ones instead of trying to teach them how to be better. They're mimicking the behavior of the younger ones.
They're competing with them.
You're spot on. That's something that these little 22, 21-year-old females would do. You know what I'm saying? You older, you got children, you got women from your generation and women from the next generation that look up to you. And this is what you have to say? Really? That sister was spot on. We need more sisters calling out that kind of bullshit behavior, you know, because it really doesn't have a place in Black society. You're just basically telling women to go out and be low energy. That ain't fly. That ain't fly at all. That's goofy. So yeah, shout out to that sister for doing that. I'm gonna follow her and check all her content now. Thank you for giving me that page. And I even inboxed her not too long ago. I'm like, sister, you cooked on that. You did?
Yes, sir.
We need that, because the consensus is with women, you know, sister code is, even when you see another woman do something goofy and stupid, you're supposed to applaud it. You're supposed to support her. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, nah, you know, you don't support bullshit. That's off code as hell. You know, the image of black women is being portrayed in the media out here today, and you go and say some stupid shit like that. The last time before that, I remember seeing her, she was taking pictures of her ass in the camera with her daughter.
Yeah.
That's what we doing now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not from what I thought of Erykah Badu, based on her music, based on the imagery. I never seen her when she was doing her videos with, you know, ass out, titties showing, all that. I've never seen her, you know, looking like a thought. And I heard her spitting these, you know, conscious lyrics, or so I thought. So I assumed she was a real down together sister that was about, you know, progress, you know, and black women carrying themselves with pride.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen that. You know what I'm saying? Every time I hear from this sister, it's something like that. And that's just a bad look, man. Like, you know, that's not what I would like to remember the sister for. But every time I hear from her, it's something like that. Before that, it was the comments she made about Hitler. She made some comments that were supportive of Hitler. Like, goddamn, you the gift that keeps on giving. Bruh, really? Is that what we doing? I'm just saying, man, I would like to see our elders, because she's an elder whether she knows it or not. You are elders, what she's trying to tell you. You should be giving these young girls some game that's going to improve them. That's what you should be doing.
And that's why I like what she said about, that's why I like what she said about Monique, because during that Shannon episode, she did say that about, you know, being the elder that these young girls look up to. And the way she talks about Baby, you know, it was kind of enduring. And that's why a lot of women like her, because she comes off as enduring to them and want them to be better, and not trying to lecture them down, but give them some insight to be better women. And they are more in tune to taking in their advice because of the demeanor she comes with. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Monique for being that elder that these young girls need.
Real talk. Yeah. And just real quick before Bobby jump in, the number one complaint that women have when it comes down to men and relationships is what? Cheating. Right? So we can infer that a lot of heartache has come to black relationships because of cheating. And you sitting up here giving people a blueprint of when it's cool to go cheat.
Correct.
Really? That's what we're doing now?
Exactly.
Wow. Goofy. This game goofy as hell. Go ahead, Bob. I know you got something for him. My God.
You already highlighted it, but I'm just going to say I would expect nothing less from a broad that takes ass pics alongside her teenage daughter to social media. I would expect nothing less from her.
Gang. Oh,
I really wouldn't. You know, I don't go up to a duck expecting it to try and sell me car insurance. I wouldn't go to an aquarium and expect a killer whale to come and start spitting Wu-Tang rhymes.
Right?
Why would I go to as shout out to my homegirl Hope, I wouldn't go to, as she so eloquently described her, a head wrap hoe and expect her to come talking anything else. And she has the nerve to talk about she's not going to be age shamed or any other shamed. Ma'am, there's a lot of shame incoming to you. I think you need to check your mailbox.
Gang.
The United States Postal Service called, and the Postmaster General is pissed because they're running out of space to stock your mail that you refuse to pick up, woman. And all of it is shame.
Mm-hmm.
And this right here is precisely the reason why I do not abide by the concept of just giving respect to people simply because they're older or referring to everyone as an elder. No, you have elders and then you have olders.
Mm-hmm.
Your elders are the ones who have grown mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. They have demonstrated, they have contributed to the world. They have left behind a legacy, either physically or otherwise. Their careers, they paved the way. They've made moves for the generations behind them to follow in their footsteps and to leave them better than they found it.
Right. Real talk.
They're the ones we can point to and say, hey, that's an example right there. That's someone that you should, you could take a nod from. Not everything they've done mirror it, but this is someone who more or less is on the right path. And then you have the olders who simply just haven't died yet.
Real talk.
They somehow managed, they survived the abortion. they were able to dodge the pills. They were able to kick the pills out the mother's uterus. They were able to sidestep the wire hanger that got stuck up there. They were fortunate enough to not stick a fork in a toaster coming up or to run into oncoming traffic. By the grace of God, they did not drop down dead yet. God bless his babies and fools. And they're still here with us, unfortunately, with nothing to show for their existence. The best thing that Erykah Badu, to this point, publicly at least, has done with her life is to be a contributing force to the realm of neo-soul music, which we love and have wonderful feelings and emotions and memories and vibes to.
Right.
That's where her contributions to society have begun. And by God, that's exactly where they ended. They haven't gone a millimeter beyond that.
Right.
This is what we have to look forward to. As you said, going ahead and tossing out free game for women to find men to cheat with. And also, big up to that sister. I like her because she zeroes in on the details. She doesn't leave stones unturned. She's very thorough. But she also captures things in a complete context. She did not miss, and I think a lot of men would have missed out on that too. She did not miss out on how that not only was promoting infidelity, which is harmful to relationships and affects both the men and the women, but, and this was a key part, she also honed in on the misandry that came out of her mouth talking about go cheat with a soft dude or creative, because they're not, in other words, implying that masculine men, the attractive men, right, the desirable men, masculine men are going to be caught up in football in the Super Bowl, while the soft niggas, the pussies, the artsy fartsy. Can we be honest? I told you, I ain't got the kid gloves on today. I ain't got the kid gloves on. Anybody can get it. It's really good. That's what she meant. I'm not going to try and say politically correct like she did. She meant the pussies, the soft ass niggas. They're not going to be interested in football because they don't like sports, affirming all kind of stereotypes about men. So you can't be masked and not be interested in football. If you're not watching the Super Bowl, you're soft. You're maybe
Bobby,
not
don't hold back.
Sports,
don't hold back, dog.
Yeah, you already started it, dog.
The fire hose is out. That's straight misandry. And the sister caught that and she called it out. And I appreciate and respect that.
Yeah. Real talk.
She's aware of these things. No. I see what you're saying. She saw it. And the funny thing is, I did not know who she was until you mentioned her today. But funny enough, I heard the rebuttal to Erykah's post. That text. I just didn't know who was that sent. I just saw it and passed like, whoever that is, sharp. Hearing her actual live or video response to that.
That's just a strong.
That's sister throwing Mike Tyson blows, bro. That's a people right there, boy.
Tyson in his prime. You dig?
Big
Not
ups to her.
Biting blows. You dig? The Tyson in his prime. You dig?
Hey, whatever it take though. But we need to start calling these people out. Just because your ass ain't keel over and die yet does not spare you from criticism. No, sir, no, ma'am. You can get this work too. It's time we start taking these people to task, because these people will sit here and they will insist on getting respect. They will insist on being treated with a certain level of reverence. And we need to really start checking the credentials. Like, hold on, who goes there? Give you this reverence, give you this veneration for what? What have you done to demonstrate that? What have you left behind? This is your legacy. You out here got your daughter out here. You're out here aiding and abetting your daughter in thought. You out here giving women goofy ass advice on how to treat. Nothing that's actually going to benefit Black women or Black society as a whole. You out here talking nonsense. Yeah. And that's not to say that you can't, be relaxed and joke and goof off a little bit, because we all have that side of us, and that deserves some airing. Absolutely. But be mindful of the nonsense you're out here talking. Now, where we currently are in our current state of affairs, with all the internal issues we've got going on, all the stuff going on in Black society, internally and externally right now. The most useful thing that you could say, the least damaging hee ha ha thing that you could say is, ladies, go cheat with a soft nigga. Go cheat with the creative nigga, because they ain't watching football today. If that's the best you got,
that's the best.
Shut your mouth.
That's the best you got.
Sit your ass down, and if it ain't a music studio, if it ain't a recording booth with a microphone in your face, shut your ass up.
Real talk.
Ain't no one trying to hear that garbage.
That's what I've been feeling about her for the past 10 years. Shut the fuck up. Like, really.
Yeah.
This ain't. And this is from a fan. You dig? This is from a fan. It's like, bro, you just diminishing your image and your legacy every time you speak. That's not cool. That wasn't fly.
Yeah.
Can I be honest also?
Go for it, dog.
Well, like I haven't been on so far.
You already emptied the clip. Shit, what you mean? Can you be honest?
I don't know I'm asking for permission, because I'm damn sure going to ask for forgiveness. Nonsense like this, and again, it's not that you can't be a flawed person. I'm not saying you have to be perfect. Not saying that in the slightest.
Right.
But when I hear garbage like this that is harmful and that's just pure fecal matter, that kills my ability to enjoy you in other aspects as well. I actually had I've been bumping some soul. My musical taste lately has been more rap heavy and rock heavy for my exercise and my workouts. And my regular listening, I'm usually all over the place. I listen to everything for the most part. It's been more soul, throwback R&B, like 70s and 80s and prior. And it's been a lot more hip hop and some jazz lately. But for the first time in a long time, I actually had some neo soul coming to my playlist. I like to randomize it. And I'm hearing some, classy joints. And when I heard Erykah Badu come on, I gotta be honest, man, it didn't hit for me the way it did a few years ago.
Wow.
It really didn't. And part of that is because when I hear her open her mouth and I hear her singing, the notes sound good. I'm hearing the depth in the lyrics. But the problem is, I know the garbage dumpster that this shit is coming out of.
Hold up.
And so it ain't hitting. Now, it's a different standard because this is what she brought out. Now, if she put out some, guilty pleasure degenerate rap, some of that Cardi B type garbage or whatever, or that Nicki Minaj type trash where that's low vibrational, just nigga music, it's just some hunch tunes or something like that. It's different because, again, I clearly don't have you to a very high standard. You're good for this purpose, and we're going to use you for the purpose that you're here.
That's it, yeah.
I'm not going to use a screwdriver for a hammer. But because I have neo soul at a different level, at a different respect, at a classier standard, hearing you now, in my spirit, in my mind, you out of place. Who let her in here?
Right.
Why is security not doing their damn job? We got to fire somebody?
Real talk.
Someone take this out.
It's
I can only imagine over the years it's going to decline even more if she keeps with this pace, and she will. She's 53. She's not going to get better at this point. She could, but keeping it a rack and a stack, we tend to become more of who we are once we reach a certain point.
Right.
And if this is how she is, unrepentant, unless it's some sort of huge come to Jesus, Damascus Road type experience, I don't see her changing anymore. So if anything, she's probably going to be even more slack, more full of nonsense. Yeah. And so it's probably going to hit the point now where on any playlist I have, I'm just going to skip her music altogether. Might even slap her on the do not playlist. Because I'm listening to you for a specific reason. You are no longer meeting that expectation, so therefore our service contract's canceled. That's I don't know if anybody else is like that, but that's Bobby. I'm not I'm not a spokesperson for anyone. I'm speaking for myself right now.
It's real because you're speaking of the point when Erykah Badu became Erykah Badu. That's what it is at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? That's just where you're going with it. You know
Say that.
You
Say that.
used to have her up here. You know what I'm saying? And it's now like, yo, you just another thought. That's what it sounds like to me. And
you thought with a record deal and a good voice.
And a head wrap. You dig? So it just is what it is, man. I wish the sister well, but like she ain't doing herself no favors coming out, you know, talking slackness like that in her old age. Nah, bro.
Gotta help me help you.
This thing with, you know, these women that want to be 19 forever. You dig? It's just bizarre. You know, like she said, everybody gets old. Yes, she said out her own mouth. The expectation is that you behave in the manner of someone who has aged. That's the whole idea. And that's not just for Erykah Badu. That's for Tamar Braxton. That's for Halle Berry. That's for all these females. You know,
that's for everybody.
For everybody, even some of the guys, they get old.
It's a damn shame to get to 53 and you're behaving like you're less than 35.
Real talk.
You literally acting like your shoe size. Again, you literally have shown that you are peers with your daughter, and not in the best of ways either. That's wild, horrible. Bro.
That's wild, gang. That's wild.
Definitely.
Come on, man.
I hope that some real talk. I like to end with this. I hope that some of these people who are behaving in this bizarre manner really go and get some therapy. You know what I'm saying? Because what we're seeing is a lot of people on social media, their mental deficiencies play out in real time. We don't know that that's what we're seeing, a lot of us, but that's exactly what we're seeing because that's not normal. And I'll land my plane.
So I do want to say this. Common sense is a flower that doesn't grow in everyone's garden. And I say that because I want to get down with dusty dudes, right? In order for we talk about respect, in order for you to get respect, you have to be far away from dusty and a man of caliber. Because once a woman or anybody in society sees that you don't have no integrity, you know, you don't carry yourself in a person that is out here protruding leadership, and you're just doing dusty stuff and saying dusty things, you are a detrimental part of society, and we got to get rid of that dusty mentality out of our system. We have too many sisters out here that's depending on fellas to be the stand-up guys for you guys to be out here being dusty and just saying reckless stuff, you know. And sometimes some people, black men particularly, y'all say a lot of stuff to entertain white folks. So I did want to show these two videos, and then we can definitely go in on the dusty dudes real quick. This first video right here.
Wake up. Wake up. What the fuck you slapping me for, bro? What the fuck you got going on with that pad and shit, bro?
Subway takes you.
What?
Subway takes you, nigga. Who is Subway?
Man, what the fuck? Bro, nah, don't talk to me right now, bro. I'm sorry right now.
Subway takes you, Snowman.
What the fuck? I don't know nobody from no Subway.
You gotta know somebody that text you and say you sliding through tonight.
Fuck, I'm sliding through tonight.
That what they say?
Man, you tripping, bro.
That what
you tripping,
say?
Bro. What the fuck? All this for you couldn't came and ask me that shit.
What I'm asking for and I see?
See what?
Check the message, nigga.
What message?
Pick up the phone, check the message. You ain't picked up the phone yet.
Man, why you put that pound on your phone, man?
You want to be
extra? So we got privately dusty, and then I want to show you the publicly dusty. All right, so black crowd walks out on comedian Dave Lucas after George Floyd joke. I would have shot him instead of kneeling on him. All right, so definitely check this video
man, all
out.
these fucking good ass white people at my show, and you wanted to show them the reason George Floyd got his neck nailed on. Don't ooh at that joke. It's just a joke, man. I would have never kneeled on George Floyd's neck. I would have shot that nigga. That was way too long. Oh my God. I think I just cancel the rest of my black fans. Old school nigga, man. Cancel the rest of my black fans. Old school nigga, man. You up here making us look. Know about George Floyd before you get your ass up there I've been to Minnesota and I went in the gas station and I asked them niggas to let me see that fake 20. This night is a disaster.
Yeah, so a lot of people start walking out on him. Definitely do need to get canceled. Just as some things that no matter how you feel about a situation, some things you just got to keep to yourself. And it's just low taste, low grade energy that you are out here you basically spewing in hopes to get likes from the dominant society. And that's the easiest way for you to basically end up jumping from a cliff, because a lot of people don't understand systemic racism. What they do is they ostracize you from your black community, and then they'll sit back and welcome you in the white community. Mm-hmm. And once they know that you're fully ostracized from the black community, the white community abandoned you, and now you can't go back to either community. We've seen that happen with Bill Cosby. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that you want to put yourself in that mix. So always remain as a leader, always put yourself forward, even if it's something that you don't like. Find ways to create things to help your people out, but don't sit here and make corny jokes that's not even funny, tasteless jokes. It's only going to put you on a chopping block, and it's not going to be something good for you. And what do you get out of that? You know what I'm saying? And also with the Dusty dude, a lot of y'all dudes be doing some real dusty, dirty Mac and stuff. Like I said, common sense isn't common to everybody, right? Why would you put some girl you sliding with on the subway? Subway don't make house calls at 9 o'clock to see if you got your sandwich order in. That's just stupid as hell. So one of the dumbest things you can do. And rightfully so, she powdered your ass up because you needed to be powdered and slapped like a bitch, because that was a bitch move. You know what I'm saying? And we have a lot of dusty dudes in our community, and we need to get out of that dusty behavior. And I'll land my plane on that.
Oh my God, where do I even start? I mean, gang, that's what we doing out here, man. Like, yo, brothers, y'all need to tighten up. Like, I mean, especially that second guy. The first guy, yeah, that's whack. That's goofy, and his behavior needs to be corrected. You know what I mean? Like, because at the end of the day, I always tell guys, man, when you deal with women, just be honest. I know that sounds so hard for a lot of y'all, but that's because a lot of y'all just like him. Just be honest. Even if you just want to hit that ass, just be like, I ain't really trying to have nothing serious. I just want to have fun. You know what I'm saying? And just be honest. And you be surprised how many women, if your shit is together and you fly like that, they'll have no problem with it. You dig? That's what you want to be on, though. Like, you don't want to deceive nobody. You don't want nobody to become interested in you through deception, because now they've come to get to know you and be fond of you under false pretenses, and so you misled them. And now there's a maliciousness that starts to build within them because you lied to them, you weren't truthful, and that's going to cause people to have a lot of bad blood with you. Just be honest. If you talking to other females, say that. I've never once dated a woman when I was talking to other women or whatever the case may be and told her she was the only one. I love you, baby. You the only one for me. Oh, that's bullshit, bro. Keep it above. If you ain't trying to be that, don't say that. But unfortunately, a lot of brothers, you kind of have to struggle where you stand. You're looking at the dude, yuck mouth looking motherfucker, he all porky and this and that. His physical shape ain't quite where it need to be. So he kind of probably felt like he needed to be deceptive to even get a woman to be interested in him. It's keep it above.
Tell him how dangerous that is. How dangerous that could have went all the way left.
Could have went all the way left. You got women out here grabbing their guns and shooting niggas. You know what I'm saying? That's happening. There are several stories that I can send you right now where a woman found out that the dude was cheating and creeping on her or whatever the case may be. She went and got her gun. Never mind him getting his. She went and got her gun and blew his damn brains out. It's happened several times in the last couple of years.
Or assaulted and put in the ICU, critical condition.
Could have poisoned his ass because, again, you're being deceptive, you know, and you're just creating a dangerous situation because you never know when Subway is going to catch feelings and pop up at your house. Now you're endangering her. You understand what I'm saying? It's always more than one side to when you start dealing with these little dusty dudes who, you know, want to have little chicks all over the place. You understand? Or people, generally speaking, that want to be infidels. I have zero patience for infidels. I have a zero policy when it comes to cheating. You understand what I'm saying? So, bro, if you're talking to other women, just say that. You know, the whole Subway shit, that's garbage. That's third grade game. You know, we grown men now. We don't need to do that. You know, and you'd be surprised. You can talk to a chick. If she like you, she'll let you talk to other females, and she still won't talk to nobody else. I've been there, but your game got to be on point, bruh. You can't be a fat pack of shit sitting up there like that. You know what I'm saying? And think that you're gonna have it like that. It just don't work like that, bruh. Got to get in the gym. You know, maybe get some of them papers up there a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Get some of that paper up a little bit. Tighten up his game. Moving on to the real villain, and that's that coon at the comedy spot. I'm just so angry sometimes that his cameras all over the place. It just upsets me so much because I can tell you back when I grew up during the 90s or whatever the case may be, some niggas would have waited for him outside and beat the dog shit out his fat ass. You dig?
Exactly.
I can tell you that for sure. I would have been one of them. You dig? Because we had to have a zero tolerance policy for cooning. Because when you have black folks like that to come along, that lets racist whites feel like they have the wherewithal to do some more George Floyd type shit. You know, He's trying to be edgy. He's trying to, you know, be funny, but certain things there's nothing funny about what he said. Nothing funny about that. And you got to read the room. Even the white people, nobody really laughed.
Yeah.
You understand?
I heard nervous laughter. Like
I heard nervous laughter. Exactly.
Did he really say that?
Yeah.
I said uncomfortable laughter. Yeah.
That ain't the laughter you want, bruh. And like real talk, we need to start touching dudes like that up. You know, because I guarantee you, they get touched up a couple times. They not gonna be running around talking that shit no more. You know, when you got to get both knees replaced, you ain't really coming back trying to talk no shit like that about black folks. You know, and that needs to come from black folks. It needs to come from black folks because, you know, like you said, the white folks, you know, they're just trying to have a good time. They didn't ask this nigga to go on stage and say that stupid shit. They didn't ask for that. In all fairness to them.
And even the ones who probably agree with what he said, they're probably looking around. They probably even look around. They probably knew. They probably felt the tension. It was probably like, nope, that's bait, Sally. We're not falling for that one.
Real talk. You don't do shit like that, man. Like that. We need to get little dusty Sambos like that up out the paint, like ASAP. They need to be dealt with. I'm not a person who usually likes to physically harm people, but sometimes you got to teach people a lesson. I'll just say that. You dig? Sometimes you got to send a message. And with people like that, they should get exactly what they deserve. And I'll land my plane there. You know, there should be a no tolerance policy for that. Somebody should have slapped the shit out of that dude. But
agreed.
Again, there's a camera every time you fart and cough. You know what I'm saying? You can't even smack nobody no more. You feel me? So it's like you got to be extra ultra careful out here these days.
We got some out there that's wired like that, but they don't really care too much about no camera or whatever. In fact, they might ask you to hold their phone and record them while they go ahead and do it. So we need those ones that ain't afraid.
Right.
To go ahead and make some fireworks pop off.
If it's the right circumstance, I think that none of us can be afraid. You know what I'm saying? But for that nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really see it, but I get where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, but no, first, I don't have much to say about the first dude. If it's a skit, who knows nowadays? Because like most things, unfortunately, the bar has just been set all the way into hell. Not even low. It's just been set right into the ninth circle of hell.
Yeah.
Dante and all the boys just out there cooking and frying out there. There was a time when you had to actually be funny in order for your endeavor to be called comedy. And in fact, not just that, but and I've actually heard some comedians speak on this as well too. And they understand that that's become low key the vehicle for some of these youngins to get into the comedy game. Now they understand that, but and they support them, but they make it very clear that what y'all doing ain't this is new school comedy, but this ain't comedy.
Nah, it's not.
Back in the day, comedy meant you had to go ahead, get your ass up into somebody's spot, come up with some jokes. They had to be funny, and you were gonna get an instant reaction. You gonna know how funny you were and how funny you were not based on the crowd. The crowd in certain places, if you listen to your Mike Epps' talk, your Dave Chappelle's, your even some of your Bill Burr's, whatever, they'll tell you that there are certain places around the country, certain clubs, certain cities that have a very high bar, a very high standard for comedy. And you can't just go and tell any jokes. The jokes that you were telling maybe in Houston that had everyone in stitches, you can't go to some spots in Detroit or another place around there. I'm not saying that's what it is for those areas. I'm saying certain jokes that you told here and you got a laugh, riot response, it's going to be crickets and people digging their ears and noses while you're talking. And some of them might even stand up and let you know, hey, we came in for a comedy show. You're waiting for the funny. There's a reason why these comedy clubs have policies that against heckling, and they'll say if you heckle, we're going to kick you out. Heckling wasn't just about being rude, whatever. Heckles for those people who would basically uppercut them comedians in the nuts and the ovaries when they weren't funny, metaphorically speaking, where they boo you, they laugh at you, or they start cracking jokes on you, and the crowd is responding to the people in the audience more than they respond to the person on stage. That's where that comes from. Because they didn't want comedians, especially ones that were just starting out trying to get their legs up under them, they didn't want them being discouraged or whatever, so they set policies to pretty much keep the audience in check. So comedy for the longest time hasn't just been a venue for comedians to be honest and tell jokes to the crowd. It's also been a means for the audience to communicate to the comedians and let them know, hey, you hitting. We like what you're saying. You're funny. Or no, you're not funny. Try it again. Comedy's always been that relationship. So to hop up on a social media metric like a YouTube or a TikTok, whatever, and do something stupid, like put a freaking wig on if you're a man, act like a woman, that's not comedy. That's buffoonery. That's operating as a jester, but that's not actual comedy. I'm not disrespecting anyone because there are some people who do that and that actually is funny. They have some really funny scenes, whatever. But we need to be honest that there's comedy and then there's funny content. Two completely different things.
Right. No doubt.
And there isn't a heavyweight comedian out there who would dare disagree with that either. I'm relatively certain. So if that is a skit, whack, lame, overdone, try something else that doesn't involve some kind of cheating or dating thing and then a healthy dose of misandry tossed in. Because it's funny because, powder got dumped on him and he's got popped. Let's try the other way around. Let's see if we're going to get the same amount of hee-hee-ha's. Let's see if he dumps powder all in her hair and slaps the taste out of her mouth. Let's see if we're going to get that same reaction. Is it still funny? But it's only funny because we attacked the men. I see. Yeah. Try something else. That's what I got to say about that. And if it is legitimate, like you said, you got to get your weight up if you want to get that. If you want to have that kind of get down going on, and even then, that behind the door dealing, that's weak. No matter how on point you may be, no matter how in shape you are, no matter how solid your income is and everything else, no matter how handsome you may be, if you still got to tiptoe around like that, you're cutting yourself off of the kneecaps. But one thing is for certain, two things for sure, it's a lot easier to accept you having multiple people you're dealing with when your income is at a certain level and you look like you're a man at a certain level, as opposed to you being Rodney who dumps the trash behind Wawa.
Result.
If she's gonna settle for sharing you, why the hell would she share a dude that's barely pulling minimum wage when she can deal with that from a dude that's at a way higher level?
There you go.
That's true.
Make sure you boss up. And real quick, I'm gonna touch on that dude because you said what I was thinking, Major, but yeah, buddy somebody should have really stormed that stage and slapped fire out his ass. Man. That's really how that should have gone down.
Wow.
And I'm personally all for edgy comedy. I actually like dark comedy. There's some of the comedians I enjoy the most have told some really, really dark jokes, stuff that probably really shouldn't be funny. And personally, I think that not the only, but one of the benchmarks or one of the ways you can tell if you're really funny is if you're able to make jokes about very taboo, dark subjects,
right,
and have people cracking. Some of the funniest jokes I've ever heard were hilarious to me because I'm like, this is terrible, this is wrong, this is immoral. I shouldn't find this funny, and knowing that made it funny. Like I'm laughing, I'm trying to stop laughing, and my efforts to stop laughing got me laughing even harder. And I feel horrible for finding any kind of joy in this.
Right.
When you can change people's minds, or when you can make people go against their base instincts like that means you got a gift. I did not feel that during that joke, and I will be honest, as much as I despise it, if I could have found something creative or witty about the joke he told, maybe, keyword, maybe, I'd have a different take on it. There was no comedy. He just simply said something to try to get some shock value. And I don't know, maybe he saw more white face than black. Maybe the base in the area he was in, he figured that he was going to get a different response. Nah. I hope if it doesn't happen now, I hope somebody eventually drags his ass out behind whatever the store is and breaks a foot off in his ass and slaps some titty meat off him.
Yeah, real talk. Shit ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. People don't respect the craft no more, man. Like there's nothing.
I'm also wondering where he's from, and I'm gonna. I said I got the kicklers off tonight, so ain't nothing off limits for me. No holds barred.
I know where you're going.
Tapping this because as much as I've been seeing this flying around lately, shout out to the NBA fan. This has been a bullet that damn near has a crazy accuracy level. If this
it does
this has been the equivalent of shooting a perfect game in basketball, of batting 100 in baseball. This has been the equivalent of having a 100% conversion rate in sales. I'm curious where the brother's lineage comes from. Because I'm almost positive that it wasn't going to be no foundational Black American brother making a kiki ha funny joke about that.
Nah.
I'm almost positive. Could be wrong. Maybe he is.
I'll see.
But that is a bet I would take, and I wouldn't feel bad if I lost money on that bet. I would not. That feels almost like playing with house money right there.
That shit is so off cold, bro. Like it's so off cold. Like you said, it's not anything that somebody that's FBA, even half FBA. You was raised FBA. You're not gonna say no stupid shit like that. You had to be one of these damn tethers that think it's funny when something happens to Black Americans. You really would have to be a damn tether. We've gone through too much in this country, and we understand racism, white supremacy too well. Generally speaking, unless he just if he is FBA, he's a Jesse Lee Peterson FBA. He is a hardcore coon. You dig?
Died in the wool.
Yeah. So,
and yes, I'll go there because I didn't hear any FBAs or anyone cracking jokes on Amadou Diallo.
No. I
didn't hear anyone cracking jokes about Muhammad Noor.
We don't do that.
I didn't hear any FBAs cracking jokes on Botham John.
Not one. It's nothing funny about it. yeah, he's trying to curry favor with white people, clearly, with racist white people at that, because even white people that aren't racist, all white people are not white supremacists. Even white people that aren't racist, they're not going to find that funny. What was this nigga's angle?
Absolutely not.
What a fucking clown.
Oh no, he better be careful, because the ass you keep trying to kiss, you might get put in that room with that ass for real. Really got to do some change. He strikes me as the type of dude that will easily take the devil's bargain in Hollywood.
Real talk.
Come on, talk about later on. There's nothing wrong with wearing a dress, and I don't know what the problem is. What's the big deal? What do you mean why am I talking like this? There's nothing wrong with that.
I can see him doing that. Yeah. Wow.
No principles, no morals, no values, no code.
All right. So definitely we had a great show tonight. Definitely want to highlight some brothers. This is Black History Month. Some brothers doing phenomenal work in the community, and they got highlighted by the Circle of Brothers this weekend.
DC.
You guys know, that is James Mungan. We call him Munch on the left.
My guy.
We have DC Clark in the middle, and we have my boy Gerald Reed Jr. on the end. And they've been doing some phenomenal things, man. Definitely doing some phenomenal things. If you guys want to check them out, they are leaders in South Florida here. You can check their pages out. This is Gerald's page on Facebook. That's Gerald Reed Jr. Super dope dude. You see where it says engaged to his wife, Keisha. I knew Keisha before she passed away. Me and Keisha had plenty of talks about the community. She followed me, and I actually met him through his wife. So when she passed away, he got with me, and we just been talking ever since. And he was always talking about leading, taking up what she was passionate about the community and pushing it forward. And he's taking the torch and really doing his thing, man. Shout out, and I'm proud of him. He's a single father raising his 4 children by himself. So, and still out here for the community. That's mad respect, man. Mad morals, and definitely having boundaries for people outside of our community trying to sell our community. Because he went viral for going down in the Hispanic area that they had a meeting with the Hispanics, and they were trying to take a black area, predominant black area. And he went down there and he went off on them, and he went viral for it. You know what I'm saying? And they pushed back to the point where they had to do the meeting, postpone the meeting another time. You know what I'm saying? And he got on the news. He was on the news for it and everything. So shout out to Gerald, man, for making that big difference. As you guys know, DC Clark, he ran for a seat, but he lost. See, people like this, we need to get in office. People have bad taste in their mouth about voting, but the problem is we're not voting unapologetic people. William DC Clark is a very unapologetic man, and he also is part of Black history himself, being one of the first Black firefighters down here in South Florida himself back in the day, and had the first Black bookstore down here in South Florida as well. Definitely would love to. Definitely going to reach out to him and see if he come on here and tell his story, but it's super dope story. Love this guy. And you remember he has 500 mentorship program for the children, the youth that he mentors. Definitely doing great things with the youth. Got them on high excel academics and everything like that, being a big mentor for them. Shout out to him and his team doing every great thing down here. I actually, I got a thank you letter from DC Clark because I put money into his campaign, and he gave me a thank you letter for the contribution for doing that. When we have these politicians down here, remember, you also have to make sure that you are putting money and funding for them to compete with these other campaign representatives as well. So they need money to be in the fight to get in that seat. So, definitely dig deep down in those pockets and support your local politicians. And as you guys know, Munch James Mungan, Munch, Machiavelli Munch on Instagram. Super dope dude. Love his content. Very knowledgeable. He has a podcast called Trapping Ain't Dead. He put it on a hiatus. Because he talks about his mental health issues, dealing with mental health. Super dope dude for him to, just be going through what he's going through and still be out here for the community and receiving awards. Man, much respect to him for what he does. So you could definitely follow him on IG at Machiavelli_Munch. And also, just to show you that they got highlighted with the awards, that's Gerald with his award and Munch with his award as well. All right. So definitely wanted to highlight these brothers before we get into our next segment, which is the crown check for tonight. All right. So the crown check for tonight is a super dope sister, man. When I tell you super dope sister, when we talk about protection, we need to highlight this sister here. And this sister is no other than, boom, Marie Van Brittan Brown, right? So this is what Marie Van Brittan Brown looks like. This was her back in the day. And what did Marie Brown Brittan do? Boom! Marie Van Brittan Brown made the home security. Yeah. So anybody who has a home security, shout out to this sister for the one making the patent, making everything work for the cameras and everything to be connected. And here is her patent right here. This is December 2nd, 1969. This is her patent for the home security. As you can see how it goes from the signal, from the bedroom to the device and everything like that. How dope is that, man? Sister created the home device system. So let's go back to her. Marie Van Brittan Brown, October 30th, 1922 to February 2nd, 1999, was American nurse and innovator. In 1966, she invented a video home security system along with her husband, Albert Brown, and an electronics technician. In the same year, they applied for a patent for their innovative security system, which was granted in 1969. Her innovation had a huge impact on the entire security system. Her ideal has expanded beyond just security for those homes, and her ideals can be seen with security systems in businesses around the world. Brown was born in Jamaica, Queens, New York. She died there at the age of 1999 at the age of 76. Here's the patent that she filed in 1966. The patent application was filed August 1st, 1966 under the name Marie Van Brittan Brown and Albert L. Brown, both of Avenue, Jamaica, New York. The application states that the invention being described is a video audio security system for a house under control of occupant. Therefore, occupant can see who's at the door, and the audio system permits the occupant to converse with the person at the door. In the mid-1960s, no one was creating home surveillance systems. Therefore, Marie and Albert were applying for a patent on that would truly be the first, and inciting the patents that their applications rely upon in order to create the system. The Browns noted only 3 previous patents: the invention of television system by Edward, and an identification system by Thomas, and a remotely operated control scanning system. Today, Brown's patent is referenced by 13 subsequent inventors who trace their own creation back to having made use of some aspects of Brown's closed circuit system. The most recent patent that refers to Brown's invention was 2013. So shout out to them for doing that. Shout out for the sister for coming up with that and getting that patent done. And that is our crown check for tonight. And I'll turn it over to you guys so you can bring it all home for us.
What an outstanding show. Shout out to that sister. Shout out to all the other sisters out there who are doing the work, and the brothers as well. It's extremely important, folks. Morals, boundaries, and respect. I mean, at the end of the day, what else do you have? any and everything else that you have is going to come back to that foundation: morals, boundaries, and respect. So, that goes right along with what our brother Tariq Nasheed always talks about as far as being on code. Having a code of conduct, a way that you comport yourself anywhere and everywhere, certain things that you just will or will not do. It's important, and we're losing sight of that. As a people, we're losing sight of that. When you see the sexy reds and you see the Sukihanas, and you see the little pumps, and you see the some of these other whimsical characters out here. You understand? These people, the Kodak Blacks, these people are not on code. They don't have morals. They don't exercise respecting the proper boundaries, and they don't have respect. And we're not going to get very far until we get our code of conduct together. Until we get our code of conduct together and we become more communal people. And, we start to really see the God in each other and operate within that type of energy, and interestingly enough, I don't know brother Munjin, and I don't know the other guy, but brother DC, I know brother DC, met him through my grandmother back in the days. My grandmother, before she passed, she used to live in DC's bookstore. DC spoke at her funeral. Great brother. And I had the privilege, I'll say, of attending, one of the courses, that he used to have for the young brothers, because they kind of do what we do here. They teach manhood to these young boys. And I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away. And then I actually saw the graduation, one of their graduations as well. It's like a whole class that they do. It's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. So yeah, as we grow this platform, I really, really, really like to, see when this brother runs again, if we can get out there and really, do a little stumping for him and, give him a little promo on here, really put our weight behind him. I think that brother can do great things if he gets elected. So yeah, man, folks, let's stay on code and let's push forward. I'll land my plane.
Absolutely. This is a subject that has tremendous value because we live in an age where the funny thing is, as much as people claim to want to be different, everyone wants to be unique, they want to be an individual, they want to stand out, set themselves apart from everybody else, the constant push to head towards that has caused people to be more like everybody else than ever before. The concept of hive mind or going along to get along and upholding the status quo, all that has just become regular run-of-the-mill for so many people now. They don't even think about a question. They think that they're being an individual, they have their own minds, but really you can put 7, 8, 9 separate people in different rooms, put the recorder on for all of them, and ask them the same questions, and you're going to hear damn near virtually the same exact responses to all of them. That's the way they like it. Unfortunately, one of the greatest and consistent ways to stand apart and truly be separate from the crowd, to really stand out and be your own man, be your own woman, is to have character. Is to have integrity, is to have a code, because there's so many people that do not have it. And many people will be upset by it. They'll be jealous of you. They'll have all kind of issues with it, which is crazy, but they'll accuse you of thinking that you're better than them, or you think that you're better than everybody else, or that you look down your nose, that you're judgmental, XYZ, all kind of crazy attacks that they'll come at you. But it's because you being that light only reveals the inadequacies that occur within them. I remember Cat Williams told a joke way, way back in the day. I think it was on his I remember the special, just can't remember the name of it. But But he was poking fun at people who drive Chrysler 300. That's when the Chrysler 300 first dropped. You know, that was the it car. I see that light of recognition in your eyes. But the Chrysler 300, that was the it car. That was the car you had to have. That was the statement symbol right there. And it was because, and he pointed out, people liked it because it looked like a Rolls Royce. And so he's like, you know, everyone's talking about they want a Chrysler 300. They like Chrysler 300. Said it looks like a Phantom. He said it only looks like a Phantom until a Phantom pulls up.
Yeah.
Then this was the Phantom pulls alongside you. You and your Chrysler 300. Let me get about it, bitch. I don't even know how we came over here anyways, you know. But fake can only look real when the real artifact isn't right there. When you don't have that ability to say, well, this is what the fake is, this is what the real is. When that's not in the case, then you can say whatever you want to say. But when you have the real deal right there, it shows up all the inadequacies, all the flaws with the other artificial copy. And when you're a person with integrity, you have that code of conduct. You have your lines in the sand that you're not crossing for anybody or for anything. You have these principles that you're willing to stand on, even die on, because it just means that much to you. It's going to set you apart faster than anything else, but what it's also going to do is going to open all kind of doors for you.
Yes.
It's also going to close a lot of doors for you. That's something important because every door is not fit to walk through. Every opportunity is not a good opportunity. There's some things that you want to be shut and barred from. Sometimes protection looks like the word no. That's true for raising children. That's true for dealing with spouses. That's true for out in the work world. That's true for every facet of your life. Sometimes protection looks like the word no. There are some doors that need to be closed to you. And when you're a person of principle, there are certain situations that you won't even find yourself getting into because when they see you, hey, we gotta bounce, man. Here he comes. Man, here goes Raggedy Bitch, man. Just move. The way you carry yourself, comport yourself, when people know that you're about something and they see that you're consistent with it, you know what I'm saying? They'll respect that. They won't bring foolishness to your doorstep. They understand they're going to have to talk to you and approach you and deal with you in a different manner. They can't handle you like they handle everybody else. This is a different person. In some cases, they're going to shield you from things because of the respect they have for you. Meanwhile, they'll go ahead and drop their BS off at everybody else's doorstep or what have you. And if for nothing else, it's that own sense of fulfillment that you have. Knowing that you're a person that can't be bought, that can't be wishy-washy into everything. It's the example that you set for your children. It's being that person of character that your significant other can be proud to be with. They know that you're someone that's dependable, that can be relied on, that's trustworthy. So if that is not who you currently are, that's okay. You have a breath in your lungs right now. You can work towards becoming that person. And it's going to take some work. You're going to drop the ball. You're going to fall short. But it is never too late to begin becoming a better person than you were 5 minutes ago. You don't need a New Year's resolution or a day on the calendar to become a better person. You can make the decision today. You know what? I need to step my game up. I need to become a better man. I need to become a better woman. I need to get some integrity about me. Or maybe you want to be that person, but you don't know where to start. Start thinking about what it is that you value. What do you respect in others? What do you think the hallmarks of a respectable person is or are? And start setting those standards for your own life and start working towards meeting those. And like anything else, you work at it, you become consistent with it, you'll get better, you become stronger in that. You can set that standard for yourself. And what will happen is you're going to have people trying to attack you for becoming that person of character and courage and integrity. But what's also going to happen is you're going to start inspiring other people to live that out in their own lives. A lot of people, unfortunately, are waiting to see somebody else act these things out. They're not at that point where they can go ahead and take that initiative for themselves. They don't even know what it looks like. You can be that person. You don't need a platform. You don't need a YouTube channel. You don't need a show or a movie or a song out to do that. Just in your own everyday life, being that consistent, durable, stand-up person, you'll be surprised how many people you're going to inspire. And some of them might reach out to you and say, hey, man, because of you, you inspired me to think this way or to move this way, to do differently. And some people never tell you that. I've received people hitting me up that just out of the blue, like, I really appreciate such and such. I'm like, who are you? I don't even know who this person is. I've never seen them before. But they had eyes on me. They were watching me. And they saw that certain things I've said, certain things I've done have always been on the level. They said that they respect that, or they really appreciate me saying this. Or they like seeing this out of me. And, I say, thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot. So you never know who you're inspiring just by being a person with character, by doing what you're supposed to be doing. Hopefully we can set that trend. We're going to continue to set that trend and be those figures if no one else is. And hey, we're about growth here. If you see us off our pivot, pull the coattail. Hey, what's up with this? You have that right. And personally, I extend that opportunity. If you see me off my pivot, let me know. Don't just see me out here cutting a whole fool and I'm being away with. Let me know. Let's have a conversation about it. And hopefully we both will walk away from the experience much better than when we start off. You know what the deal is? Smash that like button. Share. Subscribe. Set your notifications on. We don't spam. You just don't get that buzz when it's go time. And go time is every week, same time, same place, same faces. Much love. Stay safe. Be well.
All right. With that being said, we are out of here. See y'all next week for another great episode. Peace out, people.
Yay.
Bless.
All right.
On the album, we do things like songs that are a little, what we call sexy. You can see from the title, it's more of a love album.